Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros. This is the Week 14 live stream. It is me, Joe Pisapia, taking you through what could be the ugliest week of the year, and yet your fantasy hopes and dreams might be relying on some of the answers we're going to give you today. Hopefully, we'll get it right, and if we don't, I've introduced a new friend to the show, and his name is Magic 8 Ball. That's right. Who knows what's going to happen today? And honestly, when you start asking me questions about Jamar Jefferson or Amir Abdullah, we might as well just ask the 8 Ball at the end of the day. I mean, it's probably just as good about knowing. You can take all the analysis, all the work, all those things. This is ugly. Let's not pretend like it's not. And Tony Pollard now officially out too. That just came across the wire, just in case you didn't see that one. So really, hardly anybody's playing, especially at the running back position. So everybody's hurting, but that's okay. We're going to do our best to get you somebody in your lineups and answer your questions here. And if you want to ask a question, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel at Fantasy Pros. It's very easy to do. You click subscribe, you click the notifications bell, and then just like that, you are a part of our community. And of course, don't forget to like this video as well. And I just want to let you guys in on a huge piece of information too, because at noon, we have another live stream with, I believe, Kyle Yates right after me. And thanks to our friends at pristineauction.com, we're going to be doing another jersey giveaway. And hold on to your seat, ladies and gentlemen, because we're giving away an autographed Daniel Jones jersey. And you might be saying, Joe, Daniel Jones? To which I say, this is going to be a collector's item next year. You're not going to be able to find a Daniel Jones autographed Giants jersey probably ever again. So this is the time. If you haven't already, subscribe. And it's very easy. All you got to do to win is subscribe. Ask a question in the noon hour. I was going to say noon o'clock, but I don't know if that's a real time. So you subscribe now, ask a question sometime at noon, and guess what? All of a sudden, you're just like that, entered to win. It's very simple. So somebody today is going to come away with a free Daniel Jones autographed jersey, which is great. You can give it as a gag gift, or you can give it to the real Giant fan in your life and just kind of, use it to wipe away the tears of the last few seasons. There you go. I'm ferocious this morning. I just want fair warning, everybody. Fair warning. I've had a lot of lineups I've had to fix. I am salty, so let's get after it. Let's start with Michael K. Kansas City or Seattle defense. Both are very tempting here. I know on paper that Seattle matchup looks very good. I still will play Kansas City because they've played so darn well. I really have. Kansas City's really shown you something. And the one thing, too, that you have to keep in mind, even though Seattle's done okay on the defensive scoring side in terms of fantasy recently, and I know the matchup's very tempting, as is Davis Mills potentially throwing a pick or two, is you don't have Jamal Adams anymore, too, in that secondary. So that's a huge loss for that team. He's like the captain of that defense. So Seattle's not a bad start. I just think KC's a better one. So that's the way I'm going to go there. Jose Hernandez. Barkley or Jamar Chase in the PPR. You know what? In the full point PPR, I think I'm going to go with the wide receiver here. I know on paper it's a good matchup for Saquon Barkley, and I know Jamar Chase has been frustrating. Now, that being said, if you're looking for floor and you just need points this week, Barkley's probably got a safer floor than Jamar Chase. I think Jamar Chase is the better play, has more upside because Barkley has been certainly limited in what he's going to you upside on a weekly basis. But against the Chargers, I think there's a weekly floor somewhere around there, probably on 14 points or something like that in the PPR. Whereas if you're looking at Jamar Chase, he's got the upside for a 25-point day. Like, he's always got the upside for a huge day potentially. So look at your lineup, figure out what you need, what you can handle. But again, if I want a little bit more, I'm going to go with Chase. And it feels like it's a flex question, and flex, I'm usually looking for a little bit more. But everybody's lineup's different. And today, I can understand if you just want some points. Barkley's the safer points. Chase has more ceiling for him. All right, Noah Rothschild. Pick 2, MVS, Deshaun Jackson, or Nick Westbrook. Well, this is fun because MVS and Deshaun Jackson are kind of the same guy. So I'll just pick one of them. I'm going to pick MVS instead of Deshaun Jackson. And then I'm going to go pick Nick Westbrook here as the other one because I think Westbrook might offer you enough here in PPR to get you a dozen points, something like that. If you can catch 5 balls for 50 yards or 60 yards, somewhere in there, he's going to be in that neighborhood for sure. And MVS is just like Deshaun Jackson, right? Except one gets a lot more targets. So MVS gets his targets, henceforth he gets a start. Bingo, bango, we're done. Next here is Shakori Easter. Amazing name. Shakori Easter, that is the name of the season. Fantastic name. I'm jealous of that name. My name is Joe. Wish my name was Shakori Easter. A struggling Lamar Jackson or Taysom Hill. Ooh-wee. I would still go with the struggling Lamar Jackson because that's the dude that brought you here in the first place. And Taysom Hill against the Jets is very tempting. I get that. But Basically, it's just him and Kamara left. There's nobody else to throw the football to. Deontay Harris is hurt, and Traquan's not exciting. And I don't know, man. I'm just gonna go with Lamar Jackson. The dude is won an MVP. It's really hard because because you can write a scenario where Taysom Hill struggles, or Taysom Hill re-aggravates his injury, or Taysom Hill gets replaced at a certain point in time. There's that possibility. Lamar Jackson's not coming out of that game barring catastrophe. So give me Lamar Jackson in this one. Julian needs my help. Chuba Hubbard, Foreman, or Hilliard in the PPR. Pick one. Very tricky. You know, I have concerns about Chuba Hubbard this week, but I think what I'm going to do is still play him. Hilliard and Foreman, obviously in the PPR, I think you favor Hilliard just a little bit theoretically. Again, this is all in theory, and none of us know what the Carolina offense is going to be without Joe Brady calling plays anymore. It's going to look different, I would assume. Does that mean more of Amir Abdullah? Or does it mean more Chuba Hubbard? I don't know. None of us know. But if I'm going to live and die with something this week, I'm going to live and die with Chuba Hubbard, and I'm not going to leave my fate to the Tennessee backfield. That's not happening. David Bass, Kareem Hunt, or A.J. Dillon, non-PPR. Even non-PPR, I still think I'm going to go with Kareem Hunt. I think they have limited options here in terms of the passing game. And the one thing you can do with the Baltimore Ravens is throw on them. You could throw on the Baltimore Ravens all day long, and Marlon Humphrey's now out of this game as well. So to me, Kareem Hunt is that guy. I'm going to go and try to pick up some extra yardage here with Kareem Hunt, and he's got upside for big plays when he catches the football out there in space, and he could break a big one for a touchdown for sure. A.J. Dillon, I think, will be a little bit more limited with Aaron Jones' return, so it's not that I don't like A.J. Dillon. I just like Kareem Hunt a little bit more, what he brings to the table. Jim Ross, my favorite. My gosh, Jim Ross. Montgomery or James Conner. I'm going to go with James Conner in this one. He is proven out. They're pretty close in my rankings. I would play Montgomery this week. He is startable, everyone. But in favor of Conner, I'm going to go that route. We're still not 100% sure about Chase Edmonds. And, Conner's got a dozen touchdowns on the year. He's been that goal line guy. I just always worry about the Bears' ability to move the football against the Packers, especially in Green Bay, especially big primetime game, all that stuff. There's a lot of problems there. And I love David Montgomery, but I got to go with James Conner in this one. Max Duncan is up next in a deep PPR league. Have to choose between St. Brown and Zach Ertz in my flex. Appreciate the help. I appreciate you, Max. Max, this is tricky too because Ertz's health, but so far I think I would lean that route. I would still go with Zach Ertz here in this one, especially because I think DeAndre Hopkins will be having Jalen Ramsey be his best friend most of the night, most likely, which means you're going to get some of those secondary guys, either Rondale Moore, or Ertz, Green, Christian Kirk. Somebody else is going to have a big game. I just can't chase last week's Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm going to do my best to get Zach Ertz in there too. Plus, Zach Ertz has a little bit more touchdown equity, so I would play that. Keep this in mind, though. If you are waiting for Ertz and you don't have an option here that you could play instead of Ertz on Monday, then I understand starting St. Brown because you just don't want to wait and, God forbid, have that kind of an issue. I get that. But if there's an AJ Green on the waiver wire, or a Kirk on the waiver wire, or something like that, or you have somebody else on your bench who's available for that game, like a Van Jefferson or someone, which honestly, I'd be playing Van Jefferson over both those guys if I had him. If there's something else you can use Monday night, that makes me feel a little bit better about waiting for Ertz. Aaron W. Hey, Joe, must win. Of course, every week is must win. This week is more must win, but every week is must win. If you must win or you must won for the last 13 weeks, then hopefully you're not here. But we're here regardless. Half PPR, 50-50 chance to win this week. Oh, good. Last flex position, who should I start? Penny, Collins, Crowder, Beasley, Kirk, or Sutton? Well, Sutton's done nothing. Kirk's done less than nothing. Cole Beasley, I have no interest in. Crowder doesn't automatically get upgraded to being good just because everybody else is gone. Although you can throw the ball on the Saints, I got to tell you, I'm going with Rashad Penny in this one. I picked up Penny just now in a league. He was floating out there on the waiver wire, throwing him out there, see what I can get from Penny. That's my best case scenario in the half PPR. And hopefully he falls in the end zone. And if he does, there you go. There's your winning guy. Kevin McKenzie. Good morning, Joe. Mike Evans, DJ Moore, Mike Williams, or Marquise Brown. Pick two in the standard. In the standard, I'm always chasing touchdowns, so I'm going to go with Mike Evans and Tom Brady every time. And then the other one for me is Mike Williams in this matchup with Keenan Allen out. With Keenan Allen not available today, Mike Williams is assuredly going to see a little bit more target share. Now, what he does with that, we all know is very up and down. We all know that's very frustrating. But I think what I would do is I would go just balls to the wall here with Evans and with Williams. The Ravens passing attack has been less than thrilling, and Cam Newton throwing the ball is even less thrilling than that less thrilling thing. So that's where I would go. Michael Worst, full PPR. Have Mixon as my RB1. Who should I start as my RB2? James Robinson, AJ Dillon, or Deontay Foreman? Tricky thing here. As long as James Robinson is on track to play, which as of right now, unless Chris tells me differently, he is. So I believe James Robinson is still questionable, but going to play. I would still play James Robinson in this matchup. If for some reason Robinson is ruled out in the next hour or two, then I would probably pivot to AJ Dillon and just play the total over the Packers side there. Because once again, just don't feel great about the Tennessee offense. Sam Greenberg is up next. Sam would like to know full point PPR, start 2, Javonte Williams, David Montgomery, Sony Michel. Well, with Henderson out, I think you got to start Sony Michel, and I got to start Javonte Williams against Detroit, which means David Montgomery's the odd man out, which I know is sad, but at the same time, I got to win this week. Even in full point PPR, Michel and Williams is where I would go. And I love David Montgomery. He's just a matchup not so enamored of. Anthony, PPR, Dylan, Hunt, Javonte Williams, or Van Jefferson. Pick 2. Oh, good. I love going shopping for people. That's my favorite thing. They say, here's a gift card. Go get 2 things. All right, I'm going to go buy Kareem Hunt, and I'm going to go buy Javonte Williams. I'm just going to go buy touches and volume. I would love to start Van Jefferson, but although he's getting a lot of targets, he's not hauling them all in. That's problematic for me in a PPR. I'd rather him haul in 7 of 7 for 40 yards than 3 of 7 for 30 yards. See what I'm saying there? So Dylan, although splitting that backfield too, I know Javonte Williams is also. I would take Hunt and Javonte Williams. That's the way I would go. Let's go to Madeline Brownsberger. Morning, Joe. Playoffs on the line. Need flex help. Let's do it. Full PPR, CH or Mooney. Not close for me. It's CH. I'm definitely going CH here. I like the trend. I like that he's getting used in the passing game. I think he has touchdown upside. I like Darnell Mooney, but if Jair Alexander is back, and it looks like he is, that's going to be a tough day at the office for Darnell Mooney. So give me, as long as I can stop it from happening, give me CEH. Next is Jonick. Hilliard or Rashad Penny in the PPR. I understand the allure of Hilliard in the PPR. I can give that to you. I'll probably go with Hilliard there because he's shown you he's got some big playability. That's a bonus. So in the PPR, I will lean there because I just don't know how much Rashad Penny is going to work in the passing game, if at all. Next is Chris Lambert, PPR, wide receiver 2. Brandon Ayuk or Gage. I know Gage's last 2 games have been good, but they've been against really good matchups. This Carolina Panthers secondary is way better than anything they faced in the last 2 weeks. So I'm going to roll the dice with Ayuk, which is far more dangerous. I understand that, but I think possibly more rewarding this week. Next here is Paul Weiss. Paulie wants to know, full PPR, MVS, Darnell Mooney, or Brandon Cooks. I don't think Cooks is a terrible play, but with the recent target share, the 19 targets in 2 weeks that MVS is getting, and the big playability, I would say this. If you need floor, you play Cooks in the PPR, and you just try to get your 12 points and get out. But if you don't have good running back scenarios, and you kind of worry about things, then you know what? I would turn things around here, and I would go with MVS if I needed more. Mooney's odd man out. Hate the matchup. Don't like it one bit. Jeff V wants to know, Chris Godwin, Zeke, or Sony in the flex. I think you got to go with Chris Godwin after what he did last week, too, and this week he's got a good matchup too. You'd say, well, the Bills secondary is really good. They are, but Tre'Davious White's out for the year, so they lose their number 1 corner. I'm going to go with Godwin here. Carlos Garcia, Debo or Higgins? Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm going to go with Debo here because with Eli Mitchell out, you're going to see Debo carry the football again today. If he gets half a dozen rushes, right, that's going to give him, maybe another 30 yards right there. And then, of course, everything else he gives you in the passing game and the big playability he's given you. Look, both guys are banged up. Both guys are playing. I'll take Debo. Next year is Jesse Jones, full point PPR, Amari Cooper or DeAndre Hopkins. This is very tricky, but I'm going to go with Amari Cooper and hope for the best. Go with Cooper, hope that he gets the touchdown. I don't think Hopkins is healthy. I think he's just going to soldier on all year through this injury, and it's just going to be ugly. And Jalen Ramsey with Hopkins, typically ugly anyway, so that's just compounding the ugliness. Too much ugly, don't like it. Let's go to Bang Bang Boogie, which is very exciting, which is actually a dance that people don't realize that Chris created in the early 90s. It was right after the Achy Breaky Heart. It was very popular from somewhere around, I think it was the August of 1991 to about September 4th of 1991. Very popular was the Bang Bang Boogie, which honestly, we should get on the YouTube channel. I mean, there's no reason we can't get the Bang Bang Boogie on the YouTube channel here. I would love to see that. We offer all this great football content. Why not a few dance videos? Maybe Chris could do a tutorial. It would be nice. Beasley or Christian Kirk in full point PPR flex. Gross. Um, Look, Beasley's the safer play here because of what he is in this offense, and he will get his targets. But Beasley has no upside, zero. Now, Kirk has all or nothing. So once again, look at your lineup. Kirk could come out with 2 touchdowns today or a 0. Now, personally, I'll just play Beasley in that scenario. But if you're already playing from behind against Dalvin Cook, Beasley ain't going to do it. Maybe Kirk will. So it depends on your scenario, but I would probably say 75% chance you're playing Beasley here today. Let's do relay recording. Sony or Saquon in a standard league. I'm gonna go with Sony. Isn't that crazy? Sony Michel over Saquon Barkley. What have we become? What have we become? Look at us. It's the 12th of December, and I'm saying Sony Michel over Saquon Barkley. This is depressing. All right, let's move on to the next one. Curtis Wolford. Let's see if you can pull me out of my doldrums. Pick 2 RBs in the half PPR. Zeke, Montgomery, or Javonte Williams. I'm going to go with Zeke and Javonte Williams against the Detroit Lions. Boy, oh boy, I'm really soured on Montgomery. This is really sad. Somebody give me a situation where I could pick Montgomery and make everybody feel better about Montgomery. I don't hate him. I just like these other options better. David Phillips, Foreman, Freeman, Josh Reynolds, full PPR flex. I'm going to go with Freeman here just because he's the best guy. He offers the most touchdown upside and just play it that way. Even in PPR, definitely going with Freeman here because I think the Baltimore Ravens are going to come out and just run and run and run and run some more this week. Kevin Williams, should I start Kareem Hunt over James Conner this week in the full PPR? That is tempting. That is very tempting in the full point PPR to do that. I think I do. And Arizona has not performed all that well in some of these big time games. Sometimes, like these big Thursday night football, Sunday night football, Monday night football. Sometimes Kyler Murray has struggled a bit in those games. I don't know if there's a thing or it's just in a, one offshoot and it's just some strange set of circumstances. But I think I would, in this matchup, I love Kareem Hunt today catching the football in the backfield. I really do. Enrique Vasquez, best keeper stash for next year. Akers, Dobbins, Travis Etienne. Considering what's going on here with the backfield for Baltimore Ravens, I think it's going to be Dobbins because you're not going to go back to Freeman, right? And Tyson Williams wasn't the guy. So I think J.K. Dobbins is the best one. Etienne is really intriguing, but the problem with Travis Etienne is who is the coach? Is it Urban? If so, that's not very exciting. And Cam Akers, look, there's other guys there. I think Cam Akers is talented, but Akers is close, but Dobbins to me is the one that has the best shot at being the number one. So Dobbins would be my guy. Great question, Enrique. That was very, very good. That was one to grow on this Sunday morning. Danny Atkinson, full point PPR, Landry, Gage, or Julio Jones. I'm going to go with Jarvis Landry in the full point PPR. He had 100 yards last time against this Ravens secondary. They did not get better over the last 2 weeks. In fact, they got worse. So I know Baker Mayfield stinks, but I'm going to go with Landry here. Dan Fader, Joe Burrow versus the 49ers or Taysom Hill against the Jets. I'm going to go with Taysom Hill against the Jets here in this matchup and take the rushing equity and get out. Matt Larson, Amir Abdullah, or Rashad Penny in a standard league. I'm going to go with Rashad Penny and once again hope that he falls in the end zone. Remember last week when I just hoped that Adrian Peterson fell in the end zone and he did? Well, same thing. Copy, paste. Let's go. Next year, Brian G, full point PPR, DK, or Mike Williams. Very tempting here. I'm going to go with DK Metcalf because I think he has equal ceiling and just a tad more floor we've seen this year than Mike Williams has had. Because Jeff Wilson or Brandon Ayuk, full point PPR. And the full point PPR, I think I still lean with Ayuk. I really do because I think they're going to get Deebo some carries. I think Hasty's going to get some carries. So if I can avoid starting Jeffrey Wilson, I want to. I still like Jeffrey Wilson the most of those running backs, but that's just by default. Next here on our list is Darius. And Darius would like to know in a standard league for tight ends, Gronk or Kelsey. What? Why do we have both of these guys? I don't understand. You should have traded one of them years ago. Oh, man. I got to play Kelsey still because he's the one tight end. But, geez, you know what I'm doing? I'm playing both of these guys. One's a flex this week, for sure. Because Gronk has a phenomenal situation here, I think, this week. So in the standard, give me Gronk and Kelsey. I don't know what you got at the flex, but play both these guys instead, period. Unless it's like an 8-team league or something like that. Paul R., Julio, or Crowder. You found somebody I want to play Crowder over. There you go. Crowder. I just don't trust Julio to stay in the game. If he does, great. Awesome. Can't trust it. Won't trust it. Goes out there for a quarter, looks good, then he comes out. What are we going to do? there goes the day. And I know that can happen to anybody, but it seems to happen to Julio Jones more. So why are we doing that to ourselves? I don't know. All right, let's go to Frank. Pick 2, full PPR, Cordero Patterson, Kareem Hunt, or Lenny Fournette. Oh, these are some of my favorite things here. I want to start all these guys. I'm definitely going to start Patterson, and I think you got to start Fournette with what he's been able to do. So I guess Kareem Hunt is the odd man out, but I would like to start Kareem Hunt as well. But you know what? Health-wise, Patterson, Fournette, a little healthier too than Hunt, so let's go that route. Shelby, full point PPR, guillotine, pick 1. Zeke, Montgomery, Aaron Jones, or Hopkins. Well, it ain't Hopkins. With Pollard out, I think it's going to be Zeke and just hope for the best. I know Zeke hasn't been thrilling, but hopefully we can get that. Billy Boy, Yo Joe, half PPR, AJ Dillon, Scantling, or Van Jefferson. I think Van Jefferson in the half might be your best, kind of safe play. Actually, you know what? Let me reverse that. In the half point PPR, I think AJ Dillon is your safe play. And I think MVS is your upside. I need extra play. Van Jefferson, once again, he's just not catching enough of the targets thrown at him. That's a problem. You got OBJ in that mix now, too. There's a lot of things going on there. I like Van. Dillon would probably be my first instinct to play AJ Dillon. Just get some volume, get some touches, and get out. But if you need a home run, MVS is definitely the home run by far. All right, let's go to the next one here. Cheyenne Perkins wants to know, Taysom Hill or Russell Wilson? I'm still going to play Russell Wilson here against Houston. I think he's going to have a really good game here. And I take away the variable of Taysom Hill getting hurt or Taysom Hill running with the football and coming up lame or Taysom Hill getting replaced and someone else throwing a touchdown pass. A lot of variables there. There's far less variables with Russell Wilson against Houston. Keeper kid, pick 1. Chase Edmonds, Jalen Guyton, or Sterling Shepard. Well, if Shepard had Jones, which, by the way, Daniel Jones, you can win an autographed Daniel Jones jersey if you subscribe to the channel. Ask a question in the noon hour. It could be yours, thanks to our friends at Pristine Auction. But in this case scenario, I would love to wait for Chase Edmonds. I don't think it's going to happen. So therefore, do I roll the dice with Jalen Guyton, who really doesn't see a lot of targets just because there's more target volume available? Or do I go with Sterling Shepard with Mike Glennon? And I think the answer is I'm actually going to go with Sterling Shepard here, which feels terrible. I don't like it, but I think that's where I'm going. Randy Tripp, Morning Joe, half PPR, pick 3. Gibson, he's in. I don't need to see anybody else. Sony Michel, he's in. And then Chuba Hubbard or Williams. So give me Chuba at the end. Give me Gibson and Michel for sure, and then Hubbard for the third guy. St. Bow, how do you feel about Jimmy G as a backup quarterback for the playoffs? No waivers allowed during playoffs. I feel okay. Not great. I mean, Jimmy G is 16 points. That's about, not a lot of 20-something performances from Jimmy Garoppolo. It's not really his bag, but yeah, he's fine. That's fine. Dub Huds, Zeke or Sony Michel. I think you still got to play Zeke, despite the fact that Sony Michel has a good opportunity here in this game. Let's not forget the Arizona defense is pretty good. So give me Zeke. All right, YouTube poll. It shows that the audience think that Daniel Jones will return as New York Giants quarterback next year. So that's very interesting. The other options are Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, and Bryce Young. I don't think Bryce Young is going to go out into the draft this year. I really don't. I could be wrong about that. We shall see. I would be surprised. He's still young. I think he has another year of Alabama, and then he becomes like number 1 overall pick next year, if that. And let me tell you something. Bryce Young is a good quarterback when he has a protected pocket. When he doesn't, he does not throw the football well on the run. He also doesn't always make the best decisions. I think he's got a little bit more development to go in the Alabama world, which is good for him because it's basically like NFL light when you play for Alabama. But I think Bryce Young's going to be there yet. I personally think Russell Wilson's going to be there. But you guys still think that Daniel Jones is coming back. You're so adorable. Oh, my goodness. I love you guys. Just trying to stay loyal to Daniel Jones, the Giants. Look at you. Look at you and your faith in people instead of the big business that is the NFL. Don't ever change, Fantasy Pros audience. I love you. Let's move on to the next one here. It's Kyle C. Full point PPR, Crowder or Julio. Give me Crowder in this one over Julio. Let's take the volume. Let's take the guy. I just don't trust Julio Jones. Next is Javonte or Sony Michel. I'll take Javonte against the Detroit Lions, even sharing the backfield. Against that matchup, I feel better than I do Sony against Arizona. And I know last week Sony was really good. I get it, but it's a different matchup this week. Scott Kelly, with floor in mind, Gallup or Hunt? Oh, it's Hunt. I don't care what. Hunt all day, 4 days in terms of floor. Compared to Michael Gallup, especially with Cooper back too. Mark Gomez wants to know Michael Gallup, Russell Gage, Julio Jones, or Jamison Crowder. Well, we've officially done it, folks. we've hit the Michael Gallup Julio Jones portion of the show, which is also sponsored by Pristine Auction, PRISTINE.com. Head up at Pristine Auction. Go check out the amazing things. Get yourself something nice for the holidays or something nice for somebody else for the holidays. Or get something nice for me. Chris, get something nice for me for the holidays, will you? No, he says no. All I do is work, work, work. No presents for me under the tree from Chris. All right, let's get back to Mark's question here. Michael Gallup, Russell Gage, Julio Jones, or Crowder in the flex? I think Crowder is the safest guy of those. I honestly do. Gage, you're kind of chasing the last 2 weeks and the better matchups. This is not one of those matchups today that's better. Julio scares the crap out of me, as we have already established. And then Michael Gallup is just unknown, too, because if Cooper and CeeDee Lamb are on the field, too, and Zeke and Dalton Schultz, he's lower in the pecking order. Give me Crowder because he's number one in the pecking order, even though it's a crappy pecking order in the New York Jets. Seth Arthur. My dad always said, never trust a man with two names. It's a true story. Seth Arthur wants to know, Foreman or Jeff Wilson in the flex in the full point PPR. Man, I'm going to go with Jeffrey Wilson here because Foreman's going to lose some passing work, and Jeffrey Wilson can catch the football. George Fox, Mooney, or Odell Beckham. I'm going to go with Beckham. Gross. I hate myself for saying that, but I just am. Don't feel good about Mooney. I don't feel good about the Bears. Don't forget, Aaron Rodgers owns them. He said so, so it must be true. Harmo, Yo Joe, pick 2. Hasty, Jamar Jefferson, Donovan Peoples-Jones. My God. Magic 8-Ball. Will Jamar Jefferson be useful today? Ask again later. Well, that doesn't help anybody. All right, let's try to help some people over here. Hasty or Jamar Jefferson or Donovan Peoples-Jones. You know, as fun as it would be to play Donovan Peoples-Jones and just say, oh, who knows? Maybe it'll be... I can't. Give me the 2 running backs, Hasty and Jefferson. Just hope for the best here. Mike the Great, Mooney or Gallup. Now, this is where it gets dicey because do we play Mooney in the bad circumstance or Gallup further down the trough? I think I actually play Gallup further down the trough than Mooney. I've just soured on the Mooney matchup, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Hey, I got to start him in a league or two myself, but if I had Michael Gallup, I would probably play that against the Washington secondary today. Clayton, Terry McLaurin, Marquise Brown, or Hunter Renfrow at flex. Ooh, Hunter Renfrow is definitely the floor play here. And Terry McLaurin's been quiet, and so is Marquise Brown. So give me Renfrow. Just give me the points. Stevie D, Landry or Ayuk in the PPR. I'm definitely going to play Landry here. He's like the lone option in the pass game. He carved up Baltimore last time. They don't have anybody to stop him or anybody to guard him. So give me Landry here. Next here, we've got, who is it? Mike G. Connor or Foreman flex in the PPR. James Conner. Come on, bro. Connor or Foreman? Connor or Deonta Foreman? Bro, it's Connor. Take that stuff. Take that away. Justin K. Crowder or MVS? Well, this is very easy. In the half-point PPR, Crowder's your floor. MVS is your shoot for the moon. Look at what you need. Make the decision off that. Look at your lineup. Be honest with yourself. Look at your opponent. Look at the situation and figure out what you need. Crowder is capped. MVS has upside, but he has downside. Crowder, I think, will, again, be somewhere in that 12-point range. Next is Alan Calvert. Wants to know Taysom Hill or Dak Prescott. I would play Dak against Washington today, especially down a running back. I think he's going to be throwing a little bit more. And look, you could throw the ball all day in Washington. Next is Antoine Spivey, Jimmy G or Taysom Hill at quarterback. You know, I think I would take the rushing equity of Taysom Hill, but I understand it's close. This one's very close for me. I would still take Taysom Hill against the Jets. Next one is Alex, who wants to know Burrow or Jimmy G. I'm going to go with Burrow. You know, Burrow's been, I know, a little spotty, throwing some picks lately, but I'm going to go with Joe Burrow. There you go, over Jimmy G. Danton Serpa. Hey, Joe, me and my league mates here in Brazil love you. I love you. My Brazilian brothers. Thank you, Danton. That's very nice of you. Second favorite analyst behind only Pat Good Vibes. Well, that's fair. I like Pat more than I like myself, so that's totally fine. Pat Fitzmaurice is a beautiful human being. So if I'm number 2 to Pat, I'm at peace with that. Number 2 behind Dan Harris, that is a whole other story. Let's not go there. All right, then we're not friends anymore, you and me. Full PPR need to start between Saquon Barkley, Amari Cooper, Sony Michel, and Darnell Mooney. I am definitely starting Cooper and Sony Michel. That's what I'm doing. If you want even more floor, then probably Barkley and Sony Michel and just take all those touches that you can get. Barkley does have a good matchup against the Chargers. I get that. So I like a little sprinkle of each. So I like Sony Michel running the football, and I like Amari Cooper for a little upside. That's the way I personally would go. But if you just want to get floor and get out, if you're in a good spot here where you just want to take your points, then Barkley and Sony Michel is easy points. Mooney's the odd man out, regardless. Jason Edwards is up next. Jason would like to know Gallup or Melvin Gordon. As I drink from my Patriots cup. This is actually Chris actually bought me this. True story. He actually this is what he gave me in my stocking last year. He gave me a Patriots cup, which is nice. So nothing under the tree, but at least in my stocking. So I think he got it for like $1 at the grocery store. He's like, "Hey, I saw you, and I thought of this. I thought of you, and now it makes me think of Chris." So it's nice. All right, let's go on here to the question, and the next one here is Gallup or Gordon. So give me Melvin Gordon here in this one. I'm less thrilled about it, but once again, I'm more confident that Melvin Gordon has some more touchdown equity. I'm confident that even in the 40% split that I think it's going to be today, 60-40 for Javonte, if it ends up being 50-50, then Gordon's definitely that guy. So give me Gordon. Scott Michelson is up next with a question, and Scott would like to know in a PPR, Matt Stafford or Taysom Hill. I'm going to still play with Matthew Stafford because Matthew Stafford's been pretty good this year. He's one of the top guys in terms of passing yardage, and Taysom Hill is fun. I get it. Taysom Hill's the guy you play when you have a quarterback on bye. Taysom Hill's the guy you play when you're sick to death of the quarterback you have who's not playing well. I got to play Matthew Stafford. Sorry. Kamikaze wants to know Josh Palmer or Jamar Jefferson. Jamar Jefferson. Ugh. Modell. Well, I like to know. It's either model or Modell. I don't know which one. I guess it's model. So, which is actually what Chris used to be as well. In the early 2000s. I'm not going to tell you what he was a model for. I'll let you find that on the internet for yourself. Chuba Hubbard, James Robinson, Chris Godwin, DJ Moore play 2 half-point PPR. Well, I'm definitely playing Godwin, and I'd like to play James Robinson. Now, if Robinson is out for any reason in the next hour or two, then DJ Moore would be my next guy, but Robinson and Godwin is where I would go. Emory Clark, Ayuk or MVS at the flex. Both guys are risky. I think in the scenario with Debo back, I think MVS is slightly less risky. I think he has a little bit more opportunity. Debo, Kittle, Wilson, Hasty, Jimmy G himself. There's a lot of guys who can vulture a touchdown here, right? So that's a problem with Ayuk. Whereas MVS, it's Dylan, sort of now with Aaron Jones back, and Devontae Adams. That's it. So there's a lot more space here for MVS. Next is Mike N. Standard League, DJ Moore or Sterling Shepard as wide receiver 2. I'm going to still roll with DJ Moore despite all my concerns with Carolina, and they are many. Next is James A. Ayuk or Sony Michel in the half-point PPR. Definitely Sony Michel. Take the touches, take the running back. Hope you get a touchdown too, and then you're in good shape. A lot has to happen for Ayuk. Less has to happen for Sony Michel. Linda Hughes is up next with a question. And I'm going to need some more questions here. Load it up. Come on, let's go, boys. Let's go. Where are those elves working in the back that load up these questions for me? Somebody, can I get the elves on the horn? Let's see what we got going here. Linda Hughes says pick 2, Standard League, Sony, Chuba, Aaron Jones, James Robinson. Well, I got to tell you, in a Standard League, I always want the running back, so you got a whole bunch here to choose from. I would take Aaron Jones because he's the best talent of this group. And then I would probably honestly take James Robinson next. I know that sounds dicey, but that's the way I would go. I would go Aaron Jones and Robinson. I know Sony was good last time out, but you can't expect 125 yards at him every time. And the Arizona defense is good. Let's give them some credit. Touchdown picks, Renfro or Higgins, half PPR. Higgins put up back-to-back 20-something points. I understand he's banged up, but he's playing. So Renfro doesn't offer a lot of touchdown upside, even though the floor is real high. So give me Higgins in this one. Let's go. Agent Cody Banks wants to know Sony or Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones for me. Next, Henry Odom, Russell Wilson or Josh Allen. Josh Allen. Still Josh Allen against Tampa. Josh Allen. Kyle Gardner. Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Kyle. Hope you're doing well, and I hope you're doing well. Would you play Michelle over Higgins in full PPR? Kyle, I would not. I would still continue to play T. Higgins. Jerry wants to know Jeff Wilson or Chuba Hubbard, full point PPR. I'm going to go with Jeff Wilson in this one. This one for me is Jeff Wilson. I am not enamored of that Carolina Panthers offense right now. I don't like playing, investing, wagering, any of that into things that I have no idea what the identity of them are. It's usually a bad investment, typically. And it could be great, but I'm not going to find out with my nickel. And I'm certainly not going to do it with yours either. So And that's all it's worth to me, a nickel. When I was your age, a nickel could get you all the way back from all the way Chicago back to New York on a nickel. That's what Chris's grandma used to tell him all the time. Yeah, Chris, go take this nickel. Go visit your cousins. They used to like to get rid of Chris around the holidays. He was a lot when he was a kid. Next. I wish there was a picture-in-picture we could do of Chris's face as I do this show. That's something we have to work on for next year in the live streams. The side thing of Chris shaking his head, going like this, doing all these things. Because really, this is an audience of one. I'm playing to Chris every single week because it's the face that I see. And you're all just these wonderful faceless community of people asking me questions. So it would be nice to just see Chris like in the corner, just like the Chris reaction things. I think that would be a huge ratings boost. I guarantee if you like that idea, like this video. If you want to see Chris on the video next year, start pounding the likes right now with the thumbs up. We'll get that little side box of Chris's reaction as he's eating cereal and watching me do this. Next here is Kevin Mortensen, Sony or Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones for me. I'm going to go with my dudes. Sony's a nice story. I like winning football games. Alex Ekstrom wants to know full point PPR, Chuba Hubbard, Barkley, or Robinson. I prefer to start Robinson, but if you're worried about the injury, Barkley would be the pivot. Chuba is a distant third. Pick 2, full point PPR, Mixon, Michelle, Higgins. I'm going to go with the two boys for the Cincinnati Bengals. Give me Mixon and Higgins and leave Sony out of this. Antonio Mata, Mooney, or Russell Gage in the full point PPR. This is where I would probably go Mooney still. Because although Mooney's got a tough matchup, tough assignment, everything's tough about this, I just don't fully buy into Russell Gage yet. Not in this matchup, too, especially against the Carolina secondary. So this is where I go Mooney. Billy Kresge wants to know, hey, Joe, pick one from the flex PPR. Hunt, Ayuk, Van Jefferson. It is definitely 100% Kareem Hunt for me. Let's go. Scott Rockefeller of the Rockefellers wants to know Zeke or Sony Michel. Oh, man. We did Barkley or Sony Michel. Now we're going to do Zeke or Sony Michel. I'm still going to say Zeke, especially with Pollard out today. Still play Zeke. You have to live and die with your one pick. Zeke's your one pick. Sony's a guy you picked up last round or off the waiver wire. So you can't. I don't care if it's a PPR, half PPR stand. Don't care. Zeke. Dirt Diggler. Hawkinson doubtful. Hawkinson ain't playing. Stream Higbee, Hooper, or RSJ. I would probably just go with, I think RSJ is probably the best bet, but he ain't healthy either. Higbee is just a non-entity, and I can't roll with Hooper, so give me RSJ. Reed Reynolds, Kyle Pitts, Odell Beckham, or James Robinson in the PPR with a tight end premium. You know, even with the tight end premium, I can't imagine Kyle Pitts is really blowing the doors off anyone. Once again, tough matchup. I would still go with James Robinson in this one, as long as he's healthy. And if he's not, if you get that change, then I would go with Odell as number 2. Pitts would be third. Matthew Farley, pick 1, full point PPR. Judy, Hilliard, or Dylan. Jerry Judy for me. I'm going to hope for the best. Raymond wants to know Taysom Hill or Lamar Jackson. Did we do this already? Well, we'll do it again. Lamar Jackson. Let's go Lamar Jackson. Let's go. Westwood, love you, Joe. I love you, Wes. I love you. Pick 2, PPR, Renfro, DeAndre Hopkins, or Renfro. Definitely taking Renfro in this group. You've said Renfro twice, so I'm going to take Renfro and Renfro if I can do that. Now, just want to make this clear. There's probably another guy, Wes, that you wanted to put in there, but maybe it was a subliminal message where you just really wanted me to pick Renfro. So I'm definitely picking Renfro. But between Renfro and Renfro, I think I'm going to start Renfro. And then if I can avoid starting DeAndre Hopkins, I will. But I don't know who that third guy is, Wes. So I love you too. But you got to let me know who that third option is. So when you do, let me know. Maybe you need that second cup of coffee this morning. I think that's probably a good idea for you, Wes. Juan Carter, Hilliard, Foreman, or Jamar. In the PPR, I'd go Hilliard. In the half, I'd go Foreman. In the standard, I'd go Foreman. There you go. RB Fair. Pick 2 between Brandon Cooks, Van Jefferson, Rashad Penny, and Russell Gage, half-point PPR. I'm going to pick Van Jefferson, and I'm going to pick, the second one is tricky. I'm going to go with Van Jefferson and Brandon Cooks here. I can't stand Rashad Penny. Rashad Penny is so desperation to me. Like, it's just desperate. And Russell Gage, I can't chase it. I just can't. Give me Cooks and Van. Austin Storms, Jeff Wilson, Julio Jones, or Mooney at the flex half-point PPR. This is a very tricky one, too. I have very little faith in Julio, as I've mentioned before. I don't love the matchup for Mooney, and then Jeff Wilson is going to get vultured quite a bit. So this is like a no-win situation. So here's what I'm going to do in the no-win situation. I'm going to go for broke, and broke is Julio Jones. This is a no-win. So you might as well just go balls to the wall and say, here it is. I'm going to play Julio Jones, the Hall of Famer, and hope that he has 4 quarters of good football. That's all you can do. Jennifer Hefner wants to know, need one player for the flex. Zeke, Barkley, Mike Williams, or Renfro, half PPR. Thanks. Okay. So one player for the flex, even the half, I'm still going to go with Zeke. It seems like a shallow league because you have a lot of good talent here. So Zeke is probably the safest guy. Plus Zeke has a fair amount. Like all those guys are start worthy, but Zeke would be the most for me. Rory Keenan, pick 2. Freeman, CH, and Chase in a standard. Man, I'm definitely going CH with this one. And I think Freeman is the other floor play here. If you don't want to get involved with Jamar Chase, who can be a goose egg sometimes. Like, let's be honest, as good as he is some weeks, as bad as he is the other weeks. So give me Freeman and CH, and let's just kind of get in there in the standard league and get out, because that's what you need in the standard. You need touches and touchdown equity. Let's go to the next one here, which is Andy. Andy Laub wants to know, Ayuk or Chuba Hubbard in the flex. I'll probably go with the running back in the standard of Hubbard. In the half PPR, probably Hubbard. In the full point PPR, give me Ayuk. Next is Quincy Lofberg. Pretty sure Quincy Lofberg, wasn't he the bass player for Fleetwood Mac or something? I feel like Quincy Lofberg is another excellent name today. I'm kidding. I know he's not the. I know. Don't come at me. I know he wasn't the bass player for Fleetwood Mac. I'm well aware. But what if he was? What if he was? And no one knew. Cooks, MVS, Jerry Jeudy, full point PPR. If I'm going to pick one, I'm going to pick Jerry Jeudy for the floor, MVS for the upside, but most likely Jeudy. Kyle Malloy, hi Joe, half point PPR, pick 3. Debo, Aaron Jones, Barkley, Zeke. Give me Zeke, give me Demo, give me Aaron Jones, Barkley. I'm sorry, you're on the bench. By the way, speaking of benches, did you see that the Cowboys shipped in their benches for today? They did. There's a picture on the sideline. They shipped their home benches to Washington that say Dallas Cowboys on them. I saw the pic of it on the Twitter machine this morning. Pretty unbelievable. In case you didn't hate the Cowboys enough, there you go. Let's go with Royal Vision. Deontay Foreman or Darrell Williams. Definitely Foreman for me in that one. I'm with SCH playing well. I think Williams becomes kind of a sidebar. Now, that being said, he'll probably have 3 touchdowns today, but I'm still going to go with Foreman here. Next up is Derek. Derek would like to know, pick 2. Full PPR, Amari Cooper, DJ Moore, Van Jefferson. I'm going to go with Amari Cooper and DJ Moore and hope for the best, because once again, Van Jefferson just not catching enough of the targets he sees. Jack Wimberly, Cook or Higbee. I assume you mean, Jared Cook. Okay. Jared Cook for me here over Higbee. I think there's opportunity here for him, and Higbee has opportunity every week and it just doesn't happen. So I throw my hands up with Tyler Higbee. I can't do it. So give me Jared Cook. LSU Amanda would like to know, pick 2 in the flex, full point PPR, Beckham, Michelle, Gage, AJ Dillon, Kareem Hunt. I would go with Kareem Hunt. That's for sure. And then the other spot, probably the guy who's got the lone backfield with Sony Michelle. I think that's kind of my balance there between the two. Todd Vogan, Guyton or Jeff Wilson Jr. in the half PPR. Jeff Wilson Jr. because Guyton, although Guyton is a dart throw that's interesting to me this week, Wilson's going to touch the football more most likely. So I want more opportunities to score fantasy points. Hasty or Singletary? That's what Keith Geller wants to know. I'm going to go with Jermichael Hasty here because I just refuse to start any Buffalo running back that I can possibly avoid starting. Robert K, crypto or nah? I feel like it's I'd rather have Cole's cash than cryptocurrency. I feel like somebody said this the other day, crypto is Mary Kay for dudes. I thought that was really good. I was like it kind of feels the same way. So yeah, no crypto for Joey P. But if you want to send me some or tip me out at the end of the season, sure, I'll take it, whatever. You know, if you want to send me another souvenir cup, you could do that too. Whatever floats your boat. It's all good. All right, next year, what do we have? Thomas Jury. Win and I'm in. All right, let's do it. Already a big W starting Osborne. Good for you. PPR, Mooney or Cooks. Man, I think I'm going to still start Brandon Cooks here. You know, I know it's scary with Mills and all that stuff, but you know what? I think there's a chance you should see Cooks actually catch football a little bit more, you know, because Taylor ran the ball a lot. So give me Cooks. I don't trust Mooney in this matchup, especially if Alexander's playing, and you don't really know that 100% yet, but that is enough of a... Jair Alexander is the best corner in the league. You can put the best corner in the league on Darnell Mooney with a rookie quarterback. No bueno. Give me Cooks. Chase Cooper, pick 2, full point PPR. DJ Moore, Javonte Williams, Jamar Chase, and Nick Chubb. Well, come on. You're asking me if you're going to play Nick Chubb. You always play Nick Chubb. You played Nick Chubb and you played Javonte Williams right now, even though it's PPR. That's what you do. And thank you, Joe Pisapia. I love you more than anything. Chase Cooper, bring it in. Bring it. It's a love fest this morning. I love this. I love that you guys want to watch this video and hang out and ask questions and talk football. This is a beautiful thing. We have some fun. We're playing fantasy football. It's supposed to be fun. Don't forget that today as you watch your hopes and dreams disintegrate before your eyes for the playoffs. Remember, this is fun. They told you this would be fun. It's a good time, he says, as the fire burns on behind him. So let's move on to the net. But seriously, Chase, thank you. And thanks for being part of the show here at Fantasy Pros. Mr. Postman, PPR. Moore, Shepard, or Ayuk? Well, I'm definitely playing, I think it's DJ Moore. I hope it's not Elijah Moore because he ain't available. So if it's DJ Moore, I'm playing DJ Moore. Cynical, just like me. Robinson or Chuba Hubbard? Robinson, as long as I can get him in there, it's Robinson. Brandon L., what's the confidence level in Debo today? I would, look, if he's playing, I'm starting him. This is the Dalvin Cook rule, okay? Here you go. Get ready, everybody. Come down the fire. Uncle Joe's going to tell you a story. There's a finite number of elite talent players in the NFL. When they are on the field, you must play them. I don't care who they are, what the injury is. Those guys get the start for the benefit of the doubt. Dalvin Cook's one of those guys. Debo has become one of those guys this year. So I have to start Debo Samuel if he's in the lineup. And with Eli Mitchell out, he's going to carry the football today. You watch. It's going to happen. Next here, what do we have? You have Leonard Carr. Dak Prescott or Kyler Murray. Ooh, interesting one. You know what? I actually would play Dak this week. Gotta be honest with you. I'm playing Dak Prescott against Washington. Let's go. Colby Mack, PPR, pick 3. Debo Samuel, Sony Michel, Chuba, Javonte, David Montgomery. I'm playing Debo, I'm playing Sony, and I'm playing Javonte. That's what I'm going with. Jimmy DeJesus, full point PPR, Guyton or Saquon in the flex. Guyton or Saquon Barkley in the flex, really? I don't care if Jalen Guyton has the game of his life. I don't care. There's no universe where I can tell you and keep my job here, Fantasy Pros, to start Jalen Guyton over Saquon Barkley. Now, Chris keeps saying in my ear, Guyton, because clearly Chris has priorities to get me out of here. But I'm not going to listen to that. I'm going to fade him. I'm not going to try to, in fact, I'm just going to take this out. I'm not going to listen to him anymore. I'm telling you right now, you have to, for better or worse, start Saquon Barkley. He's your number 1 pick. Jalen Guyton is a guy who became relevant a few hours ago. And Jalen Guyton is not a terrible player. Jalen Guyton's possible outscoring him, but you can't. You can't do that kind of stuff and live with yourself. Next year, don't draft Saquon Barkley. You won't have this problem. There you go. All right, let's go next. James Jones. Hurts on a bye. Taysom Hill, Jimmy G, or Heineke. Taysom Hill would be my first inclination there. Gibby. Aaron Rodgers or Lamar. Still Lamar. I need that touchdown equity. Although it's a really good matchup as always, Aaron Rodgers does own the Bears. Did you know he has part ownership in the Bears? He told you so. I would still start Lamar. Big dogs. Fant or Schultz? Give me Schultz. Sony or Connor? Give me Connor. That was fun. That was easy. Drew Rodgers. Higher floor. Sony Michel or Cooper? Half-point PPR. Cooper has a higher floor in the half even. As much as Sony Michel came off a good week, I still think Cooper has more upside potentially in the half. Then we have Jason Nichols, Bateman or Keelan Cole, excuse me. This is a tough one here. I got no love for Keelan Cole. I got to go Bateman. Daddy Fat Sacks. Awesome. 10 minutes left of the show, and I'm just happy Daddy Fat Sacks made the show because that made me smile today. Daddy Fat Sacks. Yo, Joe, injuries killed me. Yeah, we'll join the club. Need 3 in the standard. Ayuk, Chase, Van Jefferson, or Don Julio Jones. All right, so injuries have killed you, so you're probably playing from behind anyway. I got to play Chase. That's number 1. Number 2, I'm probably going to play Van Jefferson and Julio Jones. I'll let Ayuk sit out, and I'll just go with the best talent there in this grouping here that I have. Next is Dave Y. Deep League, waited too long on a quarterback. Newton or Heineke? Heineke this week. I can't leave it all to Cam Newton. What if they pull him again? What if he stinks worse than he was last week? I can't do it. Not going to leave Heineke, and you just hope that Heineke is respectable, and I think he can be. And you hope that Cam Newton doesn't go off and embarrass you. Or me, for that matter. Lord Huck, PPR. Crowder, Gage, Foreman, pick 1. I'm going to go with Crowder in the PPR, just from the most looks I think he's going to get today. I told you, Gage, it's been a good run. If he does it this week, then I'll be really impressed. But this is a tougher week for him to do it. Mike Frazzoni. Hey, Mikey. Melvin Gordon's fisherman. That's funny. Look at you making jokes, Mikey. Melvin Gordon's fisherman. I think it's the Gordon's fisherman, just to be clear, but it's fine. Or Jermichael Hasty. See, usually you say Jermichael Hasty pudding, or you say something like, you got to do both. You can't just do one funny thing and not do both. I'm going to go Melvin Gordon still, regardless, especially because you gave the joke on Melvin Gordon. But seriously, Melvin Gordon. Phil Wright, Darrell Williams, or Russell Gage. This is where I would start Russell Gage and wait to see it find out, right? Because I'm already concerned what Darrell Williams is in this offense at this point, and Russell Gage is at least carving himself out a role and has a better trend, so I'll go with the trend of Gage. That's the kind of Gage start scenario that I can live with. Wartime X, full PPR, Cooper or Higgins. I'm going to go with T. Higgins still, because T. Higgins has been very good these last 2 weeks, despite the injury. And let's be honest, Cooper's not 100% either. He's playing too. No one's 100% this time of year, except maybe Kyle Yates. He's 100%. He's good. Kyle Yates is good. Everybody else well below 100%. Next here on the list, we have Will Smith. Oh my God, we got a celebrity here. Will Smith is with us. Unbelievable. Nuke, Mooney, AJ Dillon, or Kareem Hunt in the PPR. I got to tell you, I got to be honest with you, I feel best about Kareem Hunt. It's my gut instinct. It's the instinct for this game, I believe, Will. That's who I would play. And I know it sucks to be benching Nuke, and AJ Dillon's a nice player, but Kareem Hunt is the way I go. Xavier wants to know, Jamar Jefferson or Josh Reynolds in the flex? Give me Jefferson. Give me the running back who's standing. Dylan Burns, pick one. Full point PPR. Crowder, Gallup, or Jerry Jeudy? I'm going to go with Jerry Jeudy in this one. Still my boy. Can this be the week Jerry Jeudy scores a touchdown? Let's ask the 8-ball. 8-ball, is this the week Jerry Jeudy scores a touchdown? Let's see what the 8-ball has to say here. Outlook good. Well, look at that. Look at that. Magic. Now, if Jerry Jeudy scores a touchdown, I will bring Magic 8-ball and ask it a question next week as well. Just putting that out there for you. All right, next year, Benjamin Shapiro, Kareem Hunt, Amari Cooper, Jeff Wilson in the flex of a standard league. Give me Kareem Hunt, who touches the football probably most of any of those guys. Also, I missed a couple here. Let me go back. Let me backtrack. Hamish, Robinson, or CEH. Give me CEH. And then Tom Bullard, full point PPR. Schultz or Knox. Give me Knox. And sit one of these guys. Hopkins, Chase, or Mooney. Mooney sits. Good luck. We're all counting on you. Don't drop the ball. Johnny Dubs, Jeff Wilson Jr., or Hunt in the standard. Hunt. Give me Kareem Hunt. I'm very on the Hunt wagon today. All the Kareem Hunt. If Kareem Hunt stinks today, it's going to be a lot of Twitter traffic my way. But I'll take it. I will take it. I will man up and I will take it regardless. So Kareem Hunt, don't let me down. Robert Coleman, hey Joe, need your help. Full point PPR. Scary Terry or Foreman, definitely Terry McLaurin still. You got to, I know he hasn't been great, but you got to go there. Or pick up Crowder. No, you still got to go with Terry McLaurin. And look, the corners are not great for the Cowboys. Brown gives up a ton of yards and so does Diggs. So don't worry about it. Terry's the best chance you have and by far the best talent. Muhammad Malik, full point PPR, one spot. Bateman, AJ Green, or Emmanuel Sanders. Oh my God, why has it come to this? This is terrible. None. I don't like any of these options. AJ Green. That's where I would go. I would go with AJ Green. Oh, I hate that. Orville Simmons Jr., Morning, Cooks, Boyd, or Penny at the flex in a full point PPR. Give me Brandon Cooks. I'll live and die on that one. Next is Tyler T, Ricky Seals-Jones or Hooper. Give me Ricky Seals-Jones. Matt Deckard, Ayuk or McLaurin. Same thing, McLaurin. You still got to play McLaurin. And we got about 5 minutes left here. So if you haven't already subscribed to the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel, now is the time to do it. Click that little bell, ching, for the notifications. And when you do, all the great content that we have here, Fantasy Pros, is yours and at your fingertips. We got all the podcasts here. We've got live stream events like this one. We've got amazing draft coverage coming up as we go into the new year. We got baseball stuff on the other channel we've got too, at the Fantasy Pros MLB channel too. So if you're playing both, you're like, hey, I like baseball, we can go to the Fantasy Pros MLB channel and subscribe to that, because pretty soon, before you know it, that content's going to be out there too. We also got Betting Pros. So there's a lot of YouTube channels that we offer here. So if you haven't already subscribed, go and do that. But if you subscribe today, once we turn that noon hour over to Kyle Yates, then we're going to be giving away that autographed Daniel Jones jersey. So subscribe and then ask Yates a question, and then you're automatically entered, thanks to Pristine Auction, into that sweepstakes. Hayden Booz wants to know, My Pops needs a wide receiver to make the playoffs. Help. All right, let's help Pops out. Let's go. I don't know. Tight end with Goddard on a bye. So Ertz, Everett, RSJ, Moreau, or Hooper. It's a lot of guys to pick from. Ertz is my favorite of those, but I don't know if you want to wait for Ertz with all these options, so let's not. Everett, to me, I can't. So give me RSJ. Give me RSJ, who's been good with Heineke in the past. Let's try to hope for the best there. I think that total might surprise people today. We'll see. But give me RSJ. I don't want to chase Moreau either. Glenn Nichols, Jamar Jefferson, or Crowder in the flex. I'm going to go with Crowder in the flex. All right. And last one here. This is from Mega. This is MVS or Westbrook. I'm going to go with MVS. I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers at the end of the day. That's what I'm going to do. So this has been fun. It's been a good time. I want to wish all of you well. And I'll ask one more question of the 8-ball before we sign off here. Will everyone make the playoffs today? Ask again later. Oh, it's a cliffhanger. So I guess we'll have to tune in next week to find out. And I have a good feeling you'll be here next week with playoff questions because you're part of Fantasy Pros community, which means automatically, like in the words of MJF, you're better than everybody else. So good luck out there. I know it's a trying week. I know there's some names you're playing that you don't want to necessarily play. I get it. We're all going to hold hands together and we're going to hope for the best. And hopefully, and like I said, I got a good feeling, next week we'll see you again for more questions. But stick around. Kyle Yates is going to be here to help you. And subscribe to that channel right now so you can ask your question for Yates and also be entered to win that Daniel Jones autographed jersey. So I'm going to take my cup that Chris bought me here. I'm going to go sit down, watch some football, and enjoy my Sunday. I hope you guys do the same. Maybe I'll order some Chinese food with the kids, watch a little Home Alone tonight. Sounds like a pretty good day, right? Well, that's the day. So, Chris, I think we're ready to wrap things up here and pass it off. So we are going to say goodbye for now. We'll be back again next week to do it all again. Have a great week, everybody.